Well, newsflash, looks like if you are not an approved member of Blackface's state-funded media corps, then you stand to get arrested on trumped-up charges for, asking impolite questions. Make no mistake, this was a stitch-up. I was framed. If you care to watch the video, again, check out the 9-second mark. That's when this Royal Canadian Mounted Henchman sticks out his arm to block me. But again, why? Just like Freeland, he knows who I am. If he doesn't, he can clearly see the Rebel News mic flash. He and she know I mean no harm to anyone unless insensitive questions are tantamount to dangerous ammunition these days. We don't have his name yet, but allegedly his nickname is Bouncer. Well, that's fitting because this thug needs to be bounced from the RCMP ASAP. By the way, I experienced two emotions during that encounter, folks. The first was shock. The second was a profound sense of deja vu. Do you remember what happened to me in December 2021? I was standing on a public sidewalk in downtown Toronto, awaiting the arrival of the Crime Minister. You see, at the time, Blackface had just demanded that Canadians should not get together at Christmas time due to COVID. Too dangerous, you see. Got to practice social distancing. Kindly cancel Christmas, will ya? Oh, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. But get a load of this. A couple of weeks before Christmas Day, Blackface was staging one of those $1,700 a plate fundraising dinners at the Brickworks restaurant. And lo and behold, donors and members of the state-approved mainstream media were packed into this eatery like proverbial sardines. Yet again, one law for thee, one law for me, an all too common narrative during that coronavirus scandemic. Well, my mission that night was to simply ask the PM one question. Why the double standard? Why do Canadians have to put Christmas on the back burner, but it's fair dinkum for Blackface supporters to cram into a restaurant? I thought Justin would either just flash us that goofy smile of his or do that idiotic wave after getting out of his SUV. He'd make a beeline to the restaurant, and then I would simply do streeters with passersby to get their take on this grotesque double standard. But alas, once Blackface's motorcade rolled up, this is what happened.
Susie, what are you doing? Get off me. Hey, I can... Hey, this is assault. Move. I'm on a side... What is this? I'm on a sidewalk. I am on a side... What is this? You cannot touch me. No rushing over. Hey. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Let go of me. What is this? You can't... Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest?
Shocking. Keep in mind that I wasn't even under arrest when I endured that smackdown. That's because there was nothing to arrest me for. I was a journalist standing on a public sidewalk waiting to ask a question. What you saw in both that video from 2021 and in the video from just 3 days ago is Banana Republic stuff. Actually, correction, we don't grow bananas in Canada. I guess our dominion under Blackface is a maple syrup republic. Now, back in 2021, we did indeed file a lawsuit against the RCMP based on their egregious behavior. That's still before the courts. And in the days ahead, we will be suing the Mounties yet again, as well as the York Regional Police Service and Minister Freeland herself. We have 4 claims: false arrest, false imprisonment, malicious prosecution, and assault. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to help us out and stand up for freedom of the independent press, please make a donation at standwithdavid.com. Thank you very much. By the way, the RCMP has issued a statement noting that this incident is now under review. Can't wait for that outcome. In the meantime, Officer Bouncer, I think he needs to remove himself from the streets. I think he'd do well perhaps in the field of sports entertainment. After all, we know he is well skilled when it comes to delivering a clothesline.
I'm the mountain. I'm handsome, I'm brave, I'm strong. I'm the mountain, and I force along. You can try to run, but you can never hide. The mountain always gets his man.
Next up, the Toronto Police Service. Perhaps getting assaulted by Dudley Do-Wrong on Monday was entirely my fault, folks. After all, as many commentators have pointed out, I should have chanted, genocide to an identifiable group. If so, I probably wouldn't have been roughed up and arrested, but rather I might have been served some Timbits and a hot cup of joe. That's what happened last Saturday in Toronto. Yet again, those pro-Hamas demonstrators showed up to occupy the Avenue Road Bridge that spans Highway 401. Why is it always this bridge, by the way? There are dozens of bridges spanning over the 401 as it winds past Toronto. Surely it has nothing to do with the significant Jewish population that live in this area. Oh, never mind. Anyway, what has been the role of law enforcement when it comes to these river to the sea hooligans? Have they been arrested for hate speech? Have they had their bank accounts frozen? Have they even been interrogated, i.e., hey, where were you on the night of January 3rd when that Jewish deli nearby was firebombed? Oh, don't be silly, folks. That would be impolite and insensitive and maybe even Islamophobic. So typically, the Toronto cops turn a blind eye to the pro-Hamas shenanigans, which range from committing vandalism to assault to even uttering death threats. But last Saturday, Hogtown's finest did something even more unbelievably egregious. Namely, the cops transitioned into Uber Eats drivers and delivered Tim Hortons coffee and donuts to the demonstrators. Check out this image captured by Kareem Assad, which ended up on the front page of the Toronto Sun. To paraphrase an Oprah Winfrey line, and a coffee for you, and a coffee for you, and a coffee for you, and a coffee for you. Oh, and as far as Tim Hortons edibles are concerned,
pass the dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the dutchie on the left hand side.
Say, folks, don't you think it's great that Timmy's is bringing back the Dutchie as it celebrates its 60th anniversary this year? Oh, my fat ricotta cheese candy ass just can't wait. Then again, maybe that's why I'm diabetic. Anyway, maybe we need to cut the cops some slack. After all, when the pals are outside facing the elements in the cruel month of January, they can get pretty frigid and thirsty and hungry as they advocate death to the Jews and the annihilation of the Jewish state. Thankfully, the cops know the location of every donut shop in the GTA. Gee, do you think the Toronto Police Service should modify its slogan to read, quote, "To serve coffee and protect terrorist sympathizers from getting hungry," end quote. Number 3 on the list of my unfantastic 4 police forces is the Quebec Provincial Police. You know, in this day and age of mighty Amazon.com, porch piracy continues to be a growing problem the world over. You know the drill. The courier drops off a delivery on your porch, and before you get home from work, the package has disappeared, thanks to some odious thief, of course. Well, the police in La Belle Province are very, very concerned about this matter, folks. Oh, not the thievery, mind you. No, rather, they are fretting over the privacy rights of the thieves. I kid you not. Check out this excerpt from CTV News the other day.
Provincial police are urging Quebecers to not post those clips online because they say there could be a case for defamation.
You cannot post the images yourself because you have to remember that in Canada we have a presumption of innocence, and posting that picture could be a violation of private life.
Instead, he says if anything is stolen, call 911.
If you get some proof that somebody might have stolen something, then call the police, give the proof to the police, and then we'll do the investigation. We'll bring that person to justice and we'll file some charges.
You know what, folks? On a scale of 1 to 1,000, can you possibly imagine how much I care about the privacy rights of burglars and other reprobates? Hint, the number rhymes with hero. It is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, what is the unspoken strategy here? Are the cops in Quebec actually trying to get honest, law-abiding citizens to despise them?